Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Concealed Carry channel. Today, we are going to share some awesome information about the Glock 43X. I can't wait to break down this gun, share the specs, share the range footage, and of course, share a awesome in-depth tabletop review with you. So, stick around for this episode. This baby is slim.
This one was good. This one, yeah, I the bet on that one.
Here we are back in the studio. We have the Glock 43X. I can't wait to break this stuff down for you. First, I want to give a shout out to the folks over at Northwest Armory. They have been fantastic in supporting the channel, making sure that we can get guns in our hands and get down to the range and break these things down so you can make a well-educated decision on whether or not it's going to be a good fit for you. So if you need to order a gun or a gun like this, what we're reviewing today, visit nwarmory.com. They will ship it to your local FFL. And if you do happen to pop into the store, tell them that Grant McLean over at the Concealed Carry channel sent you in. Say hi to Khaki because he's such a good puppy, and buy some guns. The other folks, I want to say thank you so much to our X-Hunt targets. They have been awesome to work with and collab with us for their precision targets. They are edge-to-edge reactive, and they are sweet. So visit X-Hunt targets after the review. Order up some targets. They are amazing and fantastic folks, made all here in the USA, designed everything here in the US. Now, brand new thing for us for 2021 is we do have our Patreon page. This is huge for us because we want to do this full time and make sure that we can get great reviews out to you consistently. And of course, as you know, ammo costs money, range time costs money, guns cost money, and all of these guns that you are seeing on the channel are coming right out of my pocketbook. So I would love for you to help support the channel in any way that you can. Below in the description at the top of the page is the link to our Patreon. Please go there, support the Concealed Carry channel. That way we can keep bringing you more awesome stuff, and you will have access to exclusive video and reviews for guns up and beyond concealed carry guns.
We're going beyond the black shirt. You ready? Whoa. God, look at that, huh? This is a beauty. Dude, was that insane?
That was really, really quiet.
This is like my take on a Ruger 22 caliber, like, ultimate kit. Oh my God.
That is part of our Beyond the Black Shirt videos, and it is awesome. You will also have a chance to win a quarterly prize that's valued over $200 that is chosen by me, things that I think are awesome. So become a Patreon supporter of the Concealed Carry channel. You can get that link below. I appreciate it very much. Also, with this video, hit that thumbs up. If you love guns, you love the gun community, you support the Second Amendment, hit that thumbs up. Make sure to share the channel with your friends, family, and other enthusiasts. And talking about that Glock 43X, comment if you own this gun, what you think of the review. Put that in the comments, all right? Let's go ahead and jump into this Glock 43X. So it's going to come in the typical Glock case, plastic, boom, there she is. Glock 43X. Let's drop that mag, bam, clear, check her out. Set that aside. Let's see here, we got two 10-round mags right there. Got a little loader right there. Typical stuff. Your lock, cleaning rod, cleaning brush, and your paperwork. Nothing too crazy as far as that goes. I was kind of bummed out that there's only 2 magazines, because a lot of Glocks come with 3. That's just kind of an extra bonus. Now, this one only had 2. That's all right. Because at the end of the day, I'll share with you what I would recommend to do anyways, and that is to get a couple aftermarket magazines. Alrighty, so let's go ahead and push this box to the side here. And let's go ahead and jump into the specs. Glock 43X model. This is a slim line subcompact compact. What I mean by that is it has a compact size frame. So this side profile here is about the same size as it's the same size as the 48, which is nearly the same size of the 19 from this profile, but it's very slender. And then the slide on this is a subcompact slide. So it's like a subcompact compact. Single stack, 9mm. The capacity is 10 plus 1. You have a barrel length of 3.4 inches. You have a overall length of 6.5 inches. The height, 5 inches, and the width is 1.1 inches. This baby is slim. I like that a lot. The weight on this is 1 pound, 2.7 ounces, and the price is going to vary right now. So during this gun pandemic that we're having, I am seeing this go anywhere between $549 and $599 on most retailers' websites, including Northwest Armories, right in between there. I have seen some of these on, say, like Gunbroker, go far beyond that, depending on the availability of this pistol. So if you can find it between $550, $549, $599, I think that you're sitting pretty good. And I think that the pistol is worth that amount right there. All right. So before we jump into the gun itself and kind of dissect that more on, little details here and there, let's talk about our range day. Oh yeah, baby, look at that. Bam. So we did our usual 3, 5, 7, and 10 yards. So if you haven't seen this before, what we do is we do 5 shots, 2 seconds at 3, 5, 7, and 10 yards. Now this is not, on a bench. There are no bags. This is me just taking the pistol, pushing it out forward, and pulling the trigger, and seeing, basically, here's what's going to happen.
This one was good. This one, yeah, I the bet on that one. That was a good one, though. This one, a little bit too far for this gun.
As you can see, most all of these shots here, and this is also my doing as well. Typically, when I do shoot a pistol, it's not anything abnormal for me personally to shoot a little to the left. Depending on the pistol, of course, you got to get used to it, and you might shoot a little bit low, might shoot a little bit high. Depends on the pistol and the sights and so on and so forth. That's why you want to have a lot of practice at the range. If it was me, and after a few hundred rounds, I couldn't figure out on my own how to bring that back to center, I would probably adjust the sights a little bit. That 3 yards, I mean, just awesome. Look at that. 1.1 inch straight up and down. Beautiful. Just a little bit to the left. The 5 yards, the groupings really opened up, and I honestly have no explanation for that. But it was a 3-inch group, and I'm not too sad because, a 3-inch group, that's about the size of my fist, and 15 feet away to land a group in 2 seconds, the size of my fist. I'm not mad about that. I would, of course, need a lot more practice to bring that back up to where I was going. The 7 yards, man, I really did tighten that up, and I couldn't tell you exactly what I did differently on that 7 yards. Maybe I just saw that and I was like, oh man, I need to do something different. So maybe I just tightened up my stance and firmed up my grip some more. But look at that, 1.2 inch group. All 4 of those shots right there. 5th shot right down there. Beautiful. Yes, again, a little bit to the left. Now, the 10 yards, this is always tricky on such small guns because that sight radius is so small. But, You know, right here we have a 5.1 inch group. Again, drifted over to the left. Not too, you know, mad about those groupings by any means. You know, of course, practice, more practice, more practice. Perfect practice makes perfect. So I wouldn't be too upset if you got this gun and you did groupings like this and, you know, it wouldn't be a complete failure. I think that, and I know for sure that I could tighten up those groups much, much better with just more time at the range. But overall, the gun just shot fantastically at the range. Just felt so good. Let's go ahead and jump into the gun. We'll go from the sights down to the base pad here. And starting with the sights, what we have here is your typical U-notch rear sight and dot front sight. These are polymer sights. You can get night sights. It's the GNS, Glock night sights. This gun is available with them. You'll just kind of have to keep an eye out for them because I haven't really found a rhyme or reason why certain stores do get those, some don't. If you look on the Glock website, sometimes it can be a little confusing into which model number is going to have them as well. So sometimes, you know, when I walk into Northwest Armory, I'll see a gun, a Glock with Glock night sights, and it's just, there's no rhyme or reason why that particular model did. So a lot of people will swap out those sights. Nothing abnormal. There's plenty of aftermarket manufacturers that make sights for those. So very easy to swap out. The sights are, if you're used to shooting Glocks, they are very easy to use. You kind of cradle that front sight in that U-notch. It's not my favorite sights. Most people swap them out. A lot of people hate Glock sights. However, before you go and put, you know, $100, $120 into night sights, do try to get used to these sights unless you just absolutely hate them, because you're looking at a $550, $590, $99 gun, and you're going to go put, you know, $120, $100 sights. You're spending 20% or so of the gun in just the sights right off the bat. Is that something you really want to do without giving yourself a little, you know, a little experience behind the trigger to see, hey, is that really that big of a deal? Because there's some people who are fantastic shooters that have these factory sights on their gun still. Other than that, there is no optic cut on top here. That is for the Glock 43X MOS. That's going to be their modular optic system. So if you want one with an optic cut, take a look for that gun. Now, going into the slide, I do like the front serrations. I love the beveling on the front of the barrel there. Kind of takes away some of that blockiness. I have also heard that people like that because it's a little bit easier to put that back into the holster, being that it's not so squared off. That, I never had an issue putting the previous generations into a holster. That, again, takes practice. But I can see the thought process behind that, that's for sure. Front serrations function well. I wish they would have been a little bit bigger and a little bit deeper as far as that goes. They seem very soft, not quite slick, but you could definitely, if your hands were slippery or this was wet, you could definitely have your hands slide over the top. The rear serrations, I wish the front serrations were as wide as the rear serrations, and the rear serrations were just a little bit wider than what they are. I wish they kind of came up just a little bit further on that slide towards the ejection. So that's my own personal preference, but they function very well. The spring is surprisingly super light. It's not quite Smith & Wesson Shield EZ light, all right? It's not quite that light, but this is really light. I would definitely say in the smaller, more subcompact guns, if somebody had maybe arthritis, tendinitis, they didn't have as much hand strength, I think that they would be surprised by how well they could manipulate this slide when they got the gun in their hand. And it also has, we'll talk about this in the grip here, in the frame, it has a really good grip. This is, I think I said this with the 48 as well, the best feeling Glock I have ever had in my hands, period. But the slide machined well. The new coating that they have holds up well, looks great. You can see over here, you have the Glock logo, 43X. All of that looks really good. No discolorations, looks fantastic. Now let's go ahead and jump into the controls here, and then we'll talk about the trigger. So you have your slide lock release that is only on the left side of the gun, and it is not ambidextrous. So I know that might be a deal breaker for some. It functions well. It is nice and flush. As you can see, it doesn't stick out very far. You can get a nice positive grip on it to go ahead and lock back that slide, no problem. And it's pretty easy to go ahead and send the slide home with it. But because of it being so small, I don't know that if you were wearing gloves or if your hands were slippery or wet, that I would necessarily rely on that. I think that slingshotting that slide is a smarter choice in that regard. You have your magazine release here. This is reversible, so you can remove that and swap that on over to the right side for you southpaws, no problem. Let's talk about the trigger. I know I talk about the serrations on the trigger. This one has it. I love it. Love those serrations, especially if you're the type of shooter that doesn't get a ton of their finger onto the trigger itself. And it feels fantastic. There we go. Very nice. And you know what? While we're playing around with this, let's go ahead and talk about that trigger. The trigger on this gun is your typical Glock trigger, about 5.5 pounds. It's got some, kind of firm, squishy take-up, but when it hits the wall, it's gonna break, and nice, crisp, clean. I think that they have done much better with their triggers. I mean, you can look back from like Gen 3s, Gen 4s, and it's just everybody replaces their triggers. I hate the trigger, hate the trigger, hate the trigger, love the Glock. Glock is great. Hate the trigger. These Gen 5 Glocks, I actually don't mind the triggers that much. The only thing that I don't care for about the triggers is some don't have those little cuts, the little serrations on the trigger, which I do like. It's more aesthetics. I like a flat face trigger. One of my favorite triggers that has the safety on the trigger is the Canic, surprisingly. It's got a big fat safety. It's an aluminum trigger, and I really like that trigger. When I get that gun, we'll do a review on it. Okay, promise. But let's not go too far into the weeds here. What I'm trying to say is the new Glock triggers, I think, are really good. And it's hard to judge a trigger until you've had 500 rounds behind it and you find the intricacies and the consistencies and you actually learn this weapon for you. So let's go ahead and do some trigger pulls so that way you can see kind of what I mean by that mushiness here, because I think that it is just really, man, that is a good feeling trigger. All right, let's go ahead and pop this baby up. We're going to go ahead and depress that safety, and here you'll see that squishiness. Interesting thing is Glocks, I just recently did a review on the Walther PPQ, and it has this like gradual tension. This trigger does not have that gradual tension. It's like 5.5 pounds right when you start pulling the trigger, and it stays 5.5 pounds, and that's, I think, what makes it feel kind of squishy in a way. You're going to hit that wall and then break. How about that? That is, I like that a lot. I know for some people who aren't used to it, they're going to hit that wall and then they're going to dip and they're going to anticipate the recoil. No, just bring it on back to that wall and snap straight back. And check out the reset here. Nice, audible, you can feel it, you can hear it. And you're right at that wall again. That is a nice trigger. It's not a super short trigger, as you can see. That's probably 1/4 inch or so of travel. It's definitely not like what you're going to find with like a 1911 where you're talking like, you know, an 1/8 of an inch, just like, you know, you think about the reset and it resets for you. But yeah, I really do like that trigger on this gun. Amazing. All right, let's go ahead and talk about the grip here. So what's kind of cool is they've built that beaver tail into the frame, which I like. On these models, they don't have those back straps that you can put on there. Now, there are companies like Hogue where you can do that sleeve that goes over it, or you can get some of the adhesive little grip on there, so you can kind of build up the grip a little bit if you want to. But as is, I think this grip accomplishes what it's supposed to very, very well. One, thin, and two, it's not as aggressive as like the Glock 19. And we'll do some quick close-ups here where you can see how, here's a Gen 5 Glock 19, and you can see how the grip texture on the Glock 19 is more aggressive. You can hear that, versus the 43X. So you can definitely see how aggressive that, but you're looking at more of a carry gun versus a conceal carry gun. I think that they did a great job on it. Stays cohesive with like the Glock appeal, that built-in beaver tail. I really like that. On the rest of the grip frame here, you do have some grip on the front of that trigger guard, and this does not have a front rail. If you want the front rail, get the 43X MOS. So when you get the 43X MOS, and as soon as I do get that gun, of course I'm going to do a review for you guys. It's going to have that optic cut, of course, that I was talking about, but it's also going to have the Glock rail. Super sick if you want to use some of the other accessories that require that. But in any case, if you're just looking for like a laser, you can get a Crimson Trace laser and it will attach to the actual trigger guard, no problem. I do wish that this undercut would have been higher. That would have been, quite appreciative if they did that undercut higher. Other than that, you know what? It's, to me, I do like this gun as is. I would probably not modify a thing on it for what I think that this gun is meant to accomplish. Well, unless I wanted to do night sights. That would be the only thing if it didn't come from the factory with the night sights, as far as that goes. All right, let's take a look at the mag release. I know we talked about it's ambidextrous, but one of the things that I find to be common, especially with people that have medium-sized hands like myself, is sometimes that magazine release is just too far out of reach. When you're shooting, you have to change your grip angle to hit that mag release. And this, no problem. I can go straight from my shooting grip, drop that thumb down, so we'll go this way, shooting, bam, 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 drop that thumb down, and that is right there. Doesn't get caught on my palm. You'll see in the P365 SAS and TacPack video, I talk about how that grip is short, so your palm will hold the magazine in, and you really have to get all your fingers out of the way. This grip, nice and long, I do really like that. The width, nice and thin, so you can get your thumb really far up on that magazine release. So you're going from your firing, bam, 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 drop that thumb down, pop it down, perfect. Really do like that. If you were looking for another pistol to try to compare this to, I would say the other one to compare it to would be the Sig Sauer P365 XL model. And this is going to be a little bit, tiny bit bigger. So the XL has a 3.7 inch barrel. The Glock has a 3.4 inch. So we're talking 3/10 of an inch, and you can kind of see that right there. But everything else, switch these around for you guys to see, is pretty on par. I have the Romeo Zero on this. And if you want to see more about this, I'll put the link for the P365XL video in there too, and you can check that out. But that would be the other model that I would be looking at. I don't know that, that the regular 365 is going to be shorter. The Hellcat, again, shorter. But being that this is a 10-round mag, I don't know that I necessarily compare this to the Shield, because it's, the Shield is going to be a 8-round mag. You guys know where I'm going with this. There's other guns that I feel that 10 rounds is like the minimum for high capacity. So when you're looking at a high capacity, more of a micro compact, subcompact type of gun, I feel it's going to start with 10 rounds. And right here with that 43X, the 365 XL, and then, like the Hellcat. But as far as if you have, I have a medium-sized hand, and this grip is just about perfect. If you had larger hands, I think you'd almost minimally want to have a grip this size, in my opinion. All right, let's talk about this magazine, and I kind of hinted at this earlier. I picked up that Glock 19 mag. I was like, holy cow, that thing grew. It's a grower. So the 10-round mag is, you can see how fat it is. It's a pretty big mag. But why is it only 10 rounds? Well, here's the thing is plastic is wide, plastic is thick, and these are polymer mags. I would recommend, if I were to own this gun, and I probably will own this gun, the second I lay my eyes on a 43X MOS, I'm probably going to go, oh yeah, gotta have it, you know what I mean? And the thing that I know that I would do for sure is get the Shield Arms 15-round metal mags. A good friend of mine has them, uses them exclusively on his 43X, and he loves them. Yes, you are going to have to modify the mag release because the magazines, they're metal, so you want to do a metal mag release, and Shield tells you about that. But he loves them. I've got to fiddle around with them a little bit. I like them very, very much. That would be a modification I would absolutely make, and that would probably be the only way that I would run this gun. Now, when you take this thing to 15 rounds, we're changing up the game, guys. 12 rounds flush. You put a 15-round flush mag in here, that's move over Hellcat, that's move over 365, that's move over everything. That's this gun taking the market by storm with a capacity of a Glock 19 and the concealability of a Shield. That's crazy. That's crazy awesome. You know what I mean? So, anyways, I would love to hear from you, your thoughts. Comment below. Do you have one of these? Do you not? Have you considered it? Did you buy it? Did you not? What'd you go with? That's important for the viewers here that are looking to get good information on whether or not this is going to be a good piece for them to invest in. So not just from me, I'd love to hear from owners and other people too. The other thing, of course, make sure to hit that thumbs up if you support the Second Amendment, concealed carry gun owners, and you just like guns. Hit that like. Of course, subscribe if you haven't already. Share the channel with your friends, family, and other enthusiasts. Hit us up on our Patreon. Support the channel. Check out what we have going on beyond the black shirt. I love to dive in to guns and play around with guns other than just concealed carry things, and that's what we're going to stick to on this channel. But beyond the black shirt is going to be about all the other fun things going on in not only my lifestyle but also in the gun room here. Make sure to hit up Northwest Armory if you want to get one of these guns, or a gun. Go to nwarmory.com. Have it shipped to your local FFL if you're not here in the Northwest. Or if you do happen to go in the store, tell them that Grant over the Concealed Carry channel sent you in. They're going to take very good care of you. They're fantastic folks. And you can also say hi to Khaki because he's such a good doggy. Make sure to hit up the guys over at X Hunt Targets. Right there, xhunttargets.com. Get some of these awesome reactive targets. They are great for shooting, whether it's close range, long range, anything like that. Hit up X Hunt Targets. They are fantastic, and order up some stuff. Other than that, I look forward to seeing you guys next time because we have some awesome reviews lined up. We're super excited to share them with you, and I will see you next time here on the Concealed Carry channel. What is it? It's 10:30 at night. Coffee. Wake up, coffee. Lunch, coffee. Dinner, coffee. Doing reviews, coffee. The price is going to vary from $1,000 to $1 million. No, I'm just kidding. So.
Oh my gosh.
And so we'll see you then. Bang, bang, bang. Oh my God. I can't believe, what the hell was that in the last video? Oh
so
my
funny.
God.
It was so funny.
The Conceal Carry channel is not a comedy show.
It is for me.
It is. Oh my Jesus Christ. Scott's never gonna let me live that down.
Can you
You
imagine?
know what I'm talking about.
These Are Our Lives is still on.
Oh, too many memes. Too many memes. Better not see that on a t-shirt, Scott. Jesus. How many guns did I pull out over here? My gosh.
Not as many on this